the industry keynote on COVID-19 and beyond, rethinking hospital services in the new normal. The new normal that is affecting the hospital services, how cloud technologies could help the hospital to overcome the challenges and increase service satisfaction to all the stakeholders. Well, right now we have with us our speaker, Tony Seno Hartono, IT expert, Indonesia Hospital Association. Well, Tony is currently the ICT practitioner that has been in the industry for 30 years. He's now the IT expert staff at the Indonesia Hospital Association, IT expert at Ministry of Communication and Informatics, and adjunct researcher at Center of Digital Service Society, Universitas Gajah Mada. Prior to this, Tony was a National Technology Officer at Microsoft, Consulting Systems Engineer at Cisco Systems, and a computer engineer at IBM Indonesia. While Tony aspires to transform Indonesian people and organization to a more competitive through technology. So thank you so much, Tony, for joining us today at the World Cloud Show. Over to you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony. I am the IT expert staff of Indonesia Hospital Association. I have a very short presentation, about 15 minutes. And in this short presentation, we will cover the new normal that affecting the hospital services and how cloud technology could help the hospital to overcome the challenges. Let me share my presentation. Hold on. Share screen. Okay, hopefully you can see my share screen. I will cover about how the new normal affecting the hospital services and how the cloud technology could help the hospital to overcome the challenges and increase the satisfaction for all stakeholders. As we know, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic worldwide changed the global economy, and that's including the healthcare sector worldwide, including Indonesia. As we becoming more aware, we still haven't seen how COVID-19 will end and when. This is a little about the Indonesia Hospital Associations. We are a large association. Our members are all hospitals in Indonesia. In 2020, the total members are exceeding 2,800 hospitals, and they are consist of hospital class A, B, C, and D. The class differentiate the hospital based on the number of bed, the number of services, the doctors, etc. The class A is the highest, but we have only 67 class A. Class A is the central hospital and the highest referral hospital in the province or in the city. We have class B, about 409 hospitals, and the remaining are class C, 1,440, and some of them are class D. Class D is basically a category of hospital that they are in the process of become class C. In terms of COVID-19, the number of referral hospitals for COVID-19 are only 132 all over Indonesia, and 59 of them are in Jakarta. So almost half of them are in Jakarta, while the other city, there are very few of the referral hospital. And as of September 5th, 2020, several days ago, we have about 190,000 confirmed cases, 136,000 recovered, and 7,000 deaths. Yeah. And they are spread in 34 provinces, 489 cities in Indonesia. Most of the cases are in Java and Sumatra Island. They are the island in the left, they are in the west, while in the east, it looks like the number of cases is not as many as Java and Sumatra Island. But we don't see any sign of declining. If you see the graph at the bottom left, the daily cases is increasing, and we don't see some sign of declining yet. There are some test results, yeah, some news that slow test result causing death. So if the test result could be obtained faster in Indonesia, it can reduce death, because a patient must be detected for COVID first before the patient can be treated in the COVID referral hospital. So if the swab test is low, then it poses a very high risk for the patient. And in some cases in Indonesia, the test result can be obtained within 1 or 2 weeks. So this already very long. While there are some services in some hospitals that can provide the same day result only 1 day, but you have to pay more. So for most of the citizens that do not have enough funding, yeah, maybe they cannot get the fast result, but they can go to any hospital and get the normal test, yeah, swab test, and the result can be several days up to 2 weeks. There are some issues regarding this. Why it is slow? Because of the slow bureaucracy and the paper-based communication. So if we are now talking about cloud in the hospital, cloud is something very new and not common implemented in the hospital. So most of the hospital still communicating using paper, and that's why the process is quite slow in the hospital. So visiting hospital is always risky for everyone. According to World Health Organization, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there are patient safety risk at the hospital. For example, 1 in every 10 patients is harmed while receiving hospital care, and the occurrence of adverse events due to unsafe care is likely 1 of 10 leading causes of death and disability across the world. And 4 out of every 10 patients are harmed in primary and outpatient healthcare. And 1 out of every 7 Canadian dollar is spent treating the effect of patient harm in hospital care. Most burdensome event being blood clot, bed sores, and infections. And during the pandemic, the risk could even higher. That's why during the pandemic, hospital facing declining patient visit, because the patients are afraid to visit the hospital, and the doctors also, some of them afraid to visit the hospital, and the doctor becoming more careful if they get some patient visit. And the other issues in Indonesia is that the hospital disaster plan facing some challenges. So even though there are many hospitals that already certified, but there are some issues regarding the lack of preparedness, limited facilities, limited personal protective equipment, different knowledge of COVID-19 protocols. They are poses risk to patient safety. So the disaster recovery plan doesn't really implement it well in Indonesia. And some hospitals even do not separate the COVID with the normal patient. So there are some risk of contracting with the COVID patient. And there are also some other issues. Yeah. The claim process from the hospital to the social insurance agency are slow. And some hospital even can receive the claim payment after maybe several months, and because of the number of COVID patients is becoming more and more, so there is a risk of hospital being collapsed because of the funding issue, especially small hospital. There are Ministries of Health Regulation number 82 of 2013 that mandates every hospitals to have hospital information system. but according to the data from the Ministry of Health, this is the data of 2017, only 52% of the hospital have a functional hospital information system. The rest do not have hospital information system or already have hospital information system, but are not yet functional and or fully utilized in daily operation. And maybe for you, if you are IT practitioner, this doesn't make sense, but this is the reality. Even though the Ministry of Health already provide a free hospital information system, it is not a guarantee that the hospital will implement that, because they need some modification on the code to match the workflow of the hospital. As you know, the hospital in Indonesia doesn't have standard of operational procedure, so every hospital have their unique workflow. And some of the hospital information system implementation issues are not standardized. They work in silo. Yeah, there are also staff resistance because most of them, or some of them, the older one especially, they are afraid of changes, and lack of management support, lack of data quality and security awareness. So this is some of the hospital information system challenges in Indonesia. And apart than that, we have also some regulation and policy issue. For example, the medical data must be kept inside the hospital, so that's make data sharing not possible. Yeah, there is no standard of data anonymization, something like that. So if we want some data from the hospital, there is no standard of the data anonymization. So the data exchange is very slow in hospital, and there is no interoperability. So they are some issues they are facing by the hospitals in Indonesia. And in the new normal, yeah, based on the previous issues, I believe the cloud technology with hybrid architecture could solve most of the issues and even open new opportunities for the hospital. Why hybrid architecture? Because of the current regulation mandates some data reside within the hospital and some other data reside within Indonesia, and maybe only small part of the data can reside in the internet somewhere. But there is no clear data classification yet in Indonesia. So if we have data classification, it could be clearer, yeah, for the cloud technology adoption. But at least using based on the existing regulation, the hybrid cloud technology can solve the issue without any regulation challenges. Because the hybrid solution can provide the DC and DRC locally that match the government regulation, and this can be used in the hospital. There are many issues and opportunities that can be solved actually with the hybrid cloud services. For example, business intelligence to get insight from the hospital information system. This could be a software as a service, a BI application. It will enable hospital to get insight, such as determine the business of priority, detect accident, infection, malpractice, and prevent them to happening in the future. Digital identity. By using identity and workflow services, it's easy for the hospital to build solutions such as e-medical record that need single patient ID and digital signature. And then interoperability platform can be built using hybrid solution, API gateway that enable solutions such as connect all the stakeholders such as hospital, insurance, payment, government, etc. Improve communication, collaboration, and coordination. And other than that, the hospital can also deliver new services that can be enabled using artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, communication, and collaboration services that enable hospital to provide, for example, COVID-19 detection using AI and telemedicine. Right now, there are several AI solution development in Indonesia, but it still cannot be used to detect a real patient in Indonesia because of the regulation. All of this solution can be easily delivered through the software as a service, using the hybrid cloud solution. In Indonesia Hospital Association, we created some roadmap that still in very early stages of all of this roadmap. This roadmap is not it's done in parallel, but we start from the capacity building. In terms of capacity building, we are still doing education, the stakeholders through webinars, building IT communities, creating solution and doing trials in some hospitals. We expect in terms of capacity building, every stakeholders in the hospital will increase their IT literacy and know how to solve problems using the latest technology. And in terms of telemedicine, we are also working with some developer to build a telemedicine solution based on cloud and mobile technology. And in order to fulfill with the government regulation, the data will not leave the mobile device and to the other hospital if the data is anonymized, and if the doctor in the hospital will keep the data, and only the doctor can see the patient data, and of course he can share with other doctor if the doctor is authenticated. So this is the regulation today. We implement the regulation in the IT on top of the cloud technology. And in terms of artificial intelligence disease screening, we are collaborating with some companies, healthcare association, health tech association, and government to build a COVID screening based on artificial intelligence. This is still on the training phase. There are some private companies that already have AI solution, but based on the current regulation, the AI solution cannot be used to diagnose the patient today. But our government is still evaluating it. So after this phase is passed, hopefully our government can have some regulation related to AI. In terms of payment, this is still idea, where the cloud could interconnect all the stakeholders in insurance, payment, hospitals, and regulators to help accelerate the payment for the hospital. So previously we have a payment delay up to several months. Using this, it can be shortened into days. And lastly, about the electronic medical record, we just start to prepare the infrastructure to enable digital ID, digital signature for the healthcare sector. And I believe that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Take care and be safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Tony, for that incredible presentation.